Hello again. In part 3 of this series, we show you how we could sort of trick Fusion into allow us to join together all the small pieces that you had split up to be able to process. Now, as we also saw in the previous video, the body is still not complete because it's not a closed body. It's not a there are some places here. So the question you can ask yourself now is, how can I make this into a solid body? Because currently it's a split body. There are open faces. Well, the easiest way I found, but it's also kind of puzzling because it doesn't really make much sense. You'll see what I mean in a second. You remember you have the stitch tool, and it shows you green or red areas over things that need to be stitched. Okay, so what you can do is you can use the stitch tool, click on it, and then you select the whole frame. And it might take a while for it to analyze the whole frame the first time. Now I know for a fact where the points are, but I'll show you uh, uh, what it's about. Okay, so it took about 2 or 3 minutes for it to calculate the areas. Now if you can see here in the window here, it clearly states where you have the openings. And I haven't actually checked if you can click on it, but yeah. So if you mark it, you should be able to find the edge in the window. You see there, came up with a click here. So here is something. And I'm wondering if that's on the back side. Yeah, that's that point. Okay, so that's one of the areas. And if you click here from the back, you can see that there is a red area here, indicated by the stitch tool. Okay. Now let's zoom in and see this one. And click on this, and you see it's the same one. Roughly the same one. But what's characteristic here is that you can see from the pattern here that this is not an open surface. This is an overlapping surface, which means that you don't have to add a face here. You have to delete a face. But I'll get to that in a second. So let's find the other one. The last one. Where is that? It's there. Now if you're seeing it from the wrong angle, so I'll just do like this, and you can see this also looks like an open space, but it's not. It's also overlapping edges. I know because I tried this before, and if you try to patch it up you get an error, but if you try to delete it you get a solid surface. So how do you solve this? Well, the first thing you do is you have to do this in parts. So we'll start with this one since we're here now. Click on the tool up here, patch, and you get brought out. Just go back, mark this, and delete. And mark this and delete. Okay, so that was the first one. Now I remember the other one was over here, somewhere here I think. You can see it differentiates in color. Now it's not so easy to select. I think I got it there. I think I got that there. So let's try to delete those. Again, there is one piece here. This one is kind of tricky to get to. So what you can do is you can go to select and selection filters, remove everything, body faces. There. If you get your mouse over the correct area, you can click delete on that, mark it. So now I have removed that as well. Now, the interesting part here is that if you now do the stitch again, select the model, it'll take some time. Okay, that was pretty fast. You can see now that there are no longer any indicated gaps here in the stitch tool, which means that the model is actually ready to be made whole. So even though you don't have anything to stitch here, you can still click the stitch tool to complete the model. Usually it doesn't take so long. When that's done, this object here that is an open body becomes a solid body. And you have now completed merging that model into a single full body. So I think I will let that one complete my small series of videos on how you can import huge, massive meshes into Fusion 360. Now, to recap, there are basically two ways to do this. You can bring in the model as a mesh, you can split the mesh, you can import each part and you can join them together using the stitch command. And then secondly, which is probably the most effective one, is bring your STL5 into a slicer like Orca Slicer and resave it there after you do a fix or repair in Orca Slicer of the model. And then you save it as high quality as you can, high detail as possible, and then you load that model into Fusion 360 afterwards as an STL file. Those models are usually easier to import because the program will try to make them as good as possible for print, which means that any imperfections will be tried fixed so the models are complete, and then you save that as an STL file. So I hope these 4 videos have been helpful, and I hope that you will tune in later if I have some more videos. So thanks for watching, and click subscribe and like my videos. I'm not monetized yet, so I'm hoping you guys will help me get to that point. Honesty will last for a long time. Thank you very much, and bye bye for now.